Well, that's weird. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. I was wondering what the heck is going on here. Well, I think that takes care of that, so that's good. Okay. We're some honey bashers. I don't know, so let's hit it. What's going on, everybody? We're back. We are actually back. We gonna go kind of crazy today. Honestly, I have no idea really how to start this stream. Mostly because me starting streams is already like an issue of I have no idea how to do it. Because I very rarely stream. I try it every Tuesday, but then I just like, oh well, I have no idea what I'm doing. So Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. I was thinking about talking about whatchamacallit, what was it, the Magic Gathering stuff that came out, which was about how much Wizards has been pumping so much, like trying to make so much like stuff, and it's like it's becoming a disaster, which that's a whole thing in itself. But I think I want to kind of make this. I think the whole Deer Days thing is gonna be long as heck, and Vanguard as a whole. So I think I'd rather just move on. Let's just kind of get started. I think I sent everything there. Here we're going. Interesting. Alright. So yeah, just looking at all this, that's everything is good, because that must have been something else. Okay. I think we're ready to kind of start. Let's kind of get this out the way first, so that we can move on to the actual Vanguard discussion, Let's hit it, which is Game Awards voting, which I forgot to... It did not put on my camera. Okay. Which is crazy. Hey, Spec, how you doing? Where the heck is my camera? That is a camera, but it's not my camera. I don't know where it is. Where the heck is my camera? That's not it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. But look, where is it? Okay, that's so weird. Okay, there we go. That's the real camera. I am doing fine, Spec. Well, I'm as fine as I can be given some of the situation, but you know what? Hey, it's something like really, really personal, but it's fine. I think just a little bit of time to catch up. For one, started back at my job. It's an old long story, but I basically started back at my job last week, and then so I'm finally. I won't say I'm out the no money zone, but let's just say I have been pretty much broke 2022, and everything else coming out soon is not helping. Also, quick thing. How is audio, guys? Just want to make sure everything's good with the audio before we continue forward, because for one, I want to have sure this is actually on YouTube to make sure everything's good. Thank you. I feel I'm gonna need them for a while. Music's higher? Okay, let me turn this down then. That good? A little more? Let's see. Transit? Yeah, it's Daisuke. It's Biken's theme. Rokomon. Also, hey, ZRV. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's the Biken theme from Xrd. Oh shoot. Okay. Hold on, just a second. Alright, that's cool. Alright, move that away. Yeah, so okay, also I wanna check something else too before we begin. Straight up, it's I finally added a break, like a break a break scene, so like I can actually like transition to like moving stuff or whatnot. So I want to actually check that out first. Actually, so mic audio. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but I kind of want some like opinions on it. You know, like is the font okay or should I like change it? I probably want to kind of move it down a bit. Let's move it down a bit. That way it's not just in the line. It actually looks legit. Now I'm actually gonna use it. Okay, that's there. So, yeah. All right, let's go back to what we were doing and move this out the way. There we go. All right. So first thing was something I wanted to do before we actually got to the whole thing. You know, start with something a little bit positive before we actually get to the insanity. So first off, Game Awards officially announced all the, you know, all the all the. God, my mind is fried. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, they revealed all the nominees for events that were going to happen throughout the year. So, got 23 days till it actually starts on December 8th. So, like I usually do, is like every year we go through and actually look through them. This is gonna be awkward. Yeah, we can go through and start voting on everybody, so we can actually check there. I feel. Oh, what the heck happened there? Come on. Let me see what's. Is it okay? Did I lose connection somewhere? Hold up. That's odd. That is so weird. Come on. Is there like a refresh for it? That's interesting. No, let's see how it is. But yeah. That was very interesting how it just said it failed, but supposed to connect. Anyway, so let's keep on moving. So starts us with Game of the Year first? That's crazy. Hold on. We're gonna start off with the big one? Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about it. So, Game of the Year is first. I probably would like move my over not this. I'll move this like right here for right now. Just to be like just because I think it'll actually probably fit. Hopefully fits. So we got Game of the Year. We've got A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Stray, and Xenoblade 3. I'm not gonna lie, this actually is mostly stacked, pretty much, right? Elden Ring is supposed to be very hyped. God of War is there. Horizon was okay. Stray, like people like Stray. Xenoblade 3, and I forgot Plague Tale even like dropped. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna say the obvious answer is gonna be either Elden Ring and God of War. There's just no other way to say it. Like, even though God of War has received by its other side, and Elden Ring was the most hyped game of the year 2 years ago, so it's kind of hard to really fight that. Despite that, my vote's going to Xenoblade off the fact that it's the only one I've played. And it's not like trying to be like, oh, you know, this. I just think Xenoblade is just a really good game. I really enjoyed it, and it just kind of wins off of that. You know. Do I get next card? All right, best game direction for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction design: Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Immortality, and Stray. I've never heard of Immortality. Interesting. Kind of. I mean, I have no idea what Immortality is. I don't think Horizon is that. Music. Oh yeah, I can't wait for the chain bout theme to start playing. just we're in the middle of Horizon's theme, and then all of a sudden you just hear yippee, and then you just hear the chain battle just playing. I think I'm probably go Elden Ring here. I just don't really know what else to say. No, I don't want to share this actually. Alright, next category. Oh, it's up there. I can do that. Best narrative. For outstanding storytelling narrative development in the game: Plague Tale, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Horus, Immortality. This was literally just the whole roster last time. Wow, wow, Jeff Keighley really was hurt when he had to say Xenoblade. Best narrative. I mean, I don't know if any of these games have a best narrative thing. I'm just gonna go God of War here, maybe. Yeah, I think God of War probably is there. Best art direction: Elden Ring, Horizon. Why is Horizon in for so many dang awards? It's so weird how Horizon's in on these awards, yet everybody forgot this game existed for the most part. It's crazy. Scorn and Stray. Stray. Alright. Best score in music: Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War, Metal Hellsinger, Xenoblade 3. I kind of want to go with Metal Hellsinger. I think his soundtrack was really good. I mean, it also kind of sucks because, like, you know, actual like music put in there. Best audio design: GT7. Easy. Well, best performance awarded to an individual for voice-over acting, motion, and performance capture: Ashley Birch, Charlotte McBurney, Christopher Judge, Manning Gage, or Sunny Soldier. Again, too early. How is this too? It's too early to be like, yeah, they were good. And I want to be like, oh, Ashley Birch isn't good, and then I don't know Immortality. Wow, this is the big problem with the Game Awards to me. Is straight up like, the Game Awards has the issue of they don't have a clear cutoff date of like, yeah, when does this game release? Does it release a week before we do nominations, or like afterwards? Like, how deep can you go? Because it's really just like hard to be like, yeah, no, a game that's just like just released 2 days ago is up for Game of the Year and 10 other things, despite it barely being it too early to tell. It's kind of like insane to me. I'll just give it to Chris Judge, just because I think he's the only one I just honestly like can say. Games for Impact, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I was a teenage extra-colonist. Hindsight, Endling, Extinctions Forever, Citizen Sleeper, As Dusk Falls. Ooh. Man, I wish more games were kind of talked about than just like the big ones. I think we're just gonna go with a meme here. Just probably go with Exocolonist. Hopefully, I didn't vote for something crazy. I'm hoping I didn't. Best ongoing award to game for outstanding development of ongoing content that involves players over time. Apex, Destiny 2, 14, Fortnite, or Genshin. Now, I know about Endwalker being like some goated thing, probably because my friends wouldn't shut up about it. But and when I did actually get to play a Genshin storyline, it was actually really good, which was the summer event. I haven't played Apex or Destiny. I don't know. I think it's also kind of cheating because Fortnite's literally adding characters people wanted in the game for so long. Like some sort of like weird like crossover fighting game. I'll have to go Genshin here. Like I'm not offense to like Fortnite because I think Fortnite actually has made moves. Ooh, dang, I can't change our vote. No, can you stop? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Fortnite. I think actually even with like the crazy like cheats, like I still think like they've done some pretty cool stuff with their game. Like it's honestly like it could go either way. To be honest. Best indie: Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, or Tunic. It's Sifu. Like I haven't played Cult of the Lamb. Neon White is cool. Stray is cool. But I just think Sifu just fits my vote personally. So best mobile game: Apex Legends, Diablo, Marble Snap. Marble Snap. It's really just between Genshin and Marble Snap here. Tower Fantasy. I have not heard a lot of people talk about Tower Fantasy anymore, which is crazy. Because everyone thought, oh, it's a Genshin killer, and like I don't think Genshin was like that crazy to be like, yeah, we could do it. Let's see. Because you're out of your mind if you think I'm gonna say Diablo Immortal. Apex Legends is just Apex Legends. Power Fantasy is kind of fall to the earth. Marvel Snap, I think it's either Marvel Snap or Genshin. I think I'll go Genshin here, just to make it for me voting Fortnite last time. All right. So next category. Yeah. That's community support. Sorry, I had to make sure my brother was okay. I think. I'll go at 14. I think that's just fine. Innovation and accessibility. As this falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Ashes Part 1, and The Quarry. I'll go with I'll go with God of War. As This Falls is I mean it's pretty good. I think God was there. I don't want to give it to Last of Us Part 1 because it was literally I just don't think Last of Us Part 1 deserves an award for being a unnecessary remake. I'm sorry. Best VR is AR, After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bold Lab, Moss for 2, Red Matter, Among Us VR. Yeah, no words to say. Best action game: Bayonetta 3, Modern Warfare 2, Near White, Sifu, or Shredder's Revenge. Can I go Shredder's Revenge? I kind of want to go Shredder's Revenge. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be selfish with that one. Best action adventure. The same people plus Tunic. I'm so sorry, Tunic. It's probably just gonna go God of War anyway. There's just no other way to like vote there. Best role playing. Elden Ring, Live Alive, RCS, Triangle Strategy, or Xenoblade. I'm going Xenoblade. Best fighting. There's only one game that really should win this. Well, really, there's two games that only really should win this, and it's these two right here. This is not a fighting game, no matter how much they want to try. I don't know who's doing the fighting game section, but they need to stop. It's either Multiverse or KOF 15. Multiverse has literally broke records for fighting games of all time. KOF 15 is an actual fighting game that legitimately has a big like player base and everything. JoJo does not have rollback, and DNF has fallen so far off the face of the earth. People are literally having mental breakdowns over it. So I think I'll go Multiverses. I want to go King of Fighters so badly, but I think it's Multiverses. Where the heck am I? Okay. I was like, where the heck is my stuff? Alright. Also, nice for TIE Fighter to immediately start streaming right as I click the button. That's cool. That's fine. Best family. Kirby, Lego Star Wars, Mario plus Rabbids, Nintendo Sports, or Splatoon 3. I think we'll go Kirby. And Kirby's just a nice one. Best Sim/Strategy. We've got Dune Spice Wars, Mario plus Rabbids, Total War Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, or Victoria 3. I think we'll go Warhammer 3. Don't really have much to say. Best Sports or Racing, F1, FIFA, Ollie World. I've never heard of this game. That actually looks pretty interesting. I gotta look that up later. Remind me, guys. Remind me to look that up later. I'll say 2K23 because I think it actually, from what I could tell, like its original release was actually really good. So that's good. Best multiplayer, COD, Multiverses, Overwatch, Splatoon, or Shredder's Revenge. Splatoon. Actually, no. It should be Multiverses. Multiverses, Splatoon. No Overwatch 2, no COD. To me, it's Multiverses, Splatoon. Content Creator of the Year. For a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community in 2022. Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nibelian, Nobru, or Cutie Cinderella. I'm going to tell you right now, if it weren't for him literally saying I'm dipping from Twitter, he wouldn't be on this list. Let's be perfectly honest here. I'm sorry. We just gotta be honest, and I'm completely blocking someone's face. I'm sorry too. I think I'm going Ludwig here. Just, I don't know anyone else, but I just think someone else should get it. Best debut indie: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, or Vampire Survivors. My friends love Vampire Survivors. Stray is also a good game, and Neon White's dope. I think I'll go Vampire Survivors. I think Vampire Survivors is just the game. Best adaptation. Which is the best gaslighting option? Basically, Arcane, Cyberpunk, Cuphead, Sonic, or nah. I have not seen, despite everything, I haven't seen Edgewares yet. Cuphead's really good. Arcane is really good. I haven't seen Sonic either, and I know Uncharted's bad. I think I'm gonna give it to Arcane. I think it's just the one right there. Most anticipated game. Final Fantasy, no black people. JK meme. No, I do not want to play that. Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Tears of Kingdom. I'm going Tears of Kingdom. Tears of Kingdom is kind of the easy choice for me here. I'm not into Resident Evil. Hogwarts Legacy, I've fallen out of complete care for. 16, same but for a different reason. And I've never played the Bethesda game, and I don't think I'll start now. So it's Tears of the Kingdom. Best esports game. Either Counter-Strike, Dota 2, League, Rocket League, or Valorant. I think the answer is Valorant because just as much as I want to put League there, it's like it's Valorant. Valorant, I think, has just been growing tremendously throughout the past year. It's deserved it. Best esports athlete: Chovy, Faker, Kurgan, Simple, or Yay. I think. I mean, I don't want to give it to Chovy. I think Chovy was just better than Faker for most of the year. Just Faker made it to the greatest finals of all time. So I'll go Faker. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah, best esports team: Dark Zero, FaZe Clan, LA Thieves, Loud, or Genji. Loud. Or best esports coach: Blade, Zeka, what? Doom Bros, Robin, or Score. Score. And the last one is going to be best esports event: EVO, World League Worlds, PGL Major, MSI, or Valorant Championships. Choosing just pursuit. Yeah, I'm going to go with EVO. As much as to me, the final difference between it's almost like neck and neck in terms of just like the craziness. But to me, if I'm going with my own gut feeling, I zoned out of Worlds once the group stages were done when all the NATs got knocked out. So I just kind of like phased out, and then when it came to the semifinals, I kind of clocked back in. But the fact that I had that moment of like, I'm not here, I'm good. That's kind of maybe made the final choose. So I'm going EVO. It was the first EVO back after the disaster of COVID combined with the stuff that happened with the FGC. And despite all that, that came back. It was one of the most hype EVOs I've ever seen. I wish I was there, or I wish I could go next year, you know? So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, no, it was EVO. Holy cow. What did he? Oh, no, I have to, like, switch to, like, a different sound. Hold on, can I go like this? Yeah, is this actually a better sound? Because I have a feeling I'm gonna need to go downstairs and, like, quick second turn down some volume. I want to see if this is, like, a better, like, quality of sound or not. But yeah, I'm going EVO. I think EVO overall was just better, and I was more invested in EVO than Worlds this year, which is sad considering how Worlds ended. But that is it. I have voted everything. Right? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know, we had some fun, right? Took us with the things about 35 minutes, right? I think that's cool. Can't wait to that. On that note, our positivity is gone. I think we have now run out of positivity. Well, we'll talk about it in a second, but yeah, let me take a quick break, turn down this volume downstairs, and I'll be right back, and then we'll talk about the elephant in the room. I'm muted. I just now realized I was muted the whole time. Oh my goodness. So everyone just heard me just like ramble for no reason. But at least I have a good cut off for like the transition on the video later that goes on their thing. So I don't know. Let me. Oh shoot! I probably should like pull up Chris's video. I should pull up like Chris's video to kind of like to react to it, because like there's a lot of, I haven't actually seen it. I've only seen the ZRV video, but like that's the only one I haven't seen. Talking about, because the one that's kind of save that for later. If I can find, I really just lost the video. Alright, give me a second. I have to like actually go look it up real quick on his channel. I have to like get a lot of stuff in order, because yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's important there. But anyway, like, you know, while I'm doing this, you know, just I'm gonna talk about some random stuff, like for example, you know, so while I pull this up, man, and person I know who should be here is definitely in the middle of something, so like, well, that can't happen. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about it. oh, I thought my screen actually froze for a second. Okay. Let's pull up. Let me turn off the sound here. Is the audio even was even audio even going at that point? I don't know. But you know, let's turn off the sound here, because I got let's pull up and talk about. Also move this back to normal. That'd be cool too. Yeah. Hey, Vices, how you doing? You arrived just in time. You arrived just in time for you missed the Game Awards discussion, which was already like pretty interesting, and now we're about to go into the actual that. We're about to go into that. That's all I can say. We're about to go into that. So, oh shoot, I never asked the ZRB about it. Trying on mobile was a mistake. If you mean the D Days takes an L squad, maybe. But nah. Trust me, if Xenoborg wasn't randomly deciding to stream at like in the middle of like the afternoon, I'd probably like call him up, be like, "Hey, yo, I need you, I need you to." Oh shoot, I forgot to pull up the stream thing to like take care of those ads. I'm sorry. Do I do it like this? That is not what I want to do. Let me go back. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't stream for about, I don't know, everything. Like, this is how much I just do not stream, or like have the actual abilities, like do things. Yeah. Including guests on your stream include safety moderation screens, such preview, remove, import guests with a clickable button. Got it. I'll learn about that later. All right. So, are you kidding me? There's a okay. Can I snooze an ad? Maybe. I don't know. I'll say this like this will definitely. I'm trying to think of how I want to approach this. Um. So. Uh, oh, I know what I was thinking about, but I need to ask. Hey, ZRV. I just wanted to, if you're still in here, I wanted to ask you a question. Like, is it okay if I pull up your the video you posted today and kind of like talk about that as well later on once we get through this starting point? If you're not cool with that, that's fine. I'm just asking here. I should have asked earlier before I started the stream, but I still got Chris's video here to deal with it. So yeah, let's actually talk about this because this is gonna be something here. So I kind of allude to it on Twitter. Oh, I you see this is the hard part about me wanting to actually like talk about this because this is like the muff this blue spoon. Hey, listen, this is literally just a regular blue Yeti after my old one basically kicked the curb. RIP. But hey, you know what? I don't have anything crazy, but like yeah, because also thank you for that. So we've talked about Vanguard Deer Days and how uh I should probably pull up my tweet I made. That would probably be a good point too, right? Um, you know, what about it? Oh, okay. I was like, was Kendrick talking about? Oh, it's just because he got cool. Anyway, all right. Where the heck is my actual? It was under Vice's tweet, but it's like it was such a real. It was a good one though, so I need to like actually um. Let me pull this up quickly. That's not what I want to do. All right, that's pulled up for later. That is. Do I not have? Okay. No, I got fine. I got fine. Yeah, I gotta find your actual original tweet because this actually kind of is pretty much better. This is a better setup for me. All right, I got it. I found it. Yes, it was the Shofu one, the one Shofu. But looking at Vice's tweet here will also help too. So, all right, let's talk about it. So, for anyone who's been out the blue, we've been talking about Vanguard Dare Days and it's $70 down horrendous price tag. I saw it coming and I was like I couldn't figure out how I would do it. I saw it coming. I'm like I have no idea what to do. I'm so sorry. What? First off, why is Twitch so bad with this? I gotta do like, and I can only like push it back like 30 minutes. Okay, that was weird. I can only like push it back for 30 minutes. All right. Let me just put the music back on. Actually, this is actually annoying to me. I'll just put it on a little bit lower so that it doesn't mess with me personally. Until we get to the rest videos. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, if you've been under a rock for whatever reason, uh, Vanguard Dear Days is a game coming out for the Nintendo Switch and Steam. It is going to be the first game, assumedly, to be yes, the first game for Vanguard that will ever come to the West, and depending on what we talk about here, might be the only one. We'll talk about why in a second, but for right now, I've made a video discussing the price of Dear Days being $70 and how that was an issue. I've talked about how It doesn't help new players wanting to actually jump in because the price is higher than games they actually could want to play. You know, we've all talked about it, like we talked about Pokemon. We just got through the Game Awards, for example. Pokemon, God of War, Horizon, Stray, Elden Ring. It's priced higher than all those games, which is insane considering those are considered the games of the year. And this is literally a niche TCG with the over trigger inside it. Oh, that was actually a good one. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, but let's get into the real topic of what we're talking about here today, and it's kind of like the culmination of everything. If it was $70, okay, it's fine. And like, you know what, that's cool. We knew there was going to be DLC that came out, and you know, that DLC was going to definitely help make or break the game. Safe to say, it has broken the game for all intents and purposes. Credit to Vices here. So this is from the Europe. I don't know what is it, the Nintendo of Europe eShop on his Switch, and pretty much there. This is the Apocalyptically Bad for Dear Days. It is 5309, which is would roughly be, if we were going by normal prices, $53. $53 for the additional card pass plus SD sleeves set 1 and 2. Which in case you don't know, that bundle does include, and if I can hurry up and pull this up for, if I can pull this up before I continue. Wait, what? Oh, oh no! Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, whew. I was about to trip because I actually I was like, let me go find the DLC thing, and then I saw Anime News Network actually did a something about it. And I was having like a mental breakdown. I'm like, oh god, it actually popped up on us. It's like, oh, we're about to get sent to the gulag. This game about to go to the end of the world. It's over. We have lost. It is out in the open. We've lost, guys. We tried. Yeah, understandable. We'll talk about that too. I think. So thankfully, this actually does what I want to do mostly, and tells us about what the DLC that's coming up. They did not pick up the price of the DLC. I just skimmed it. They didn't talk about the price. They just talked about the DLC existing and available for pre-order. So that might be almost worse because they're gonna get hit with like a bullet if they go to the DLC Steam. If they go to the Nintendo eShop and look at the DLC, and it's like, oh, what? Yeah, it's probably a promotional piece. Yeah, it looks like it. Um, Considering that no, it is, considering there's not a actual author on it. Yeah, it's a promo piece. Oh boy, which is already in a thing, right? Because there's actually, like, you know, it's a whole different argument. But yeah, DLC that's lined up. The additional card pass, which we talked about, which is 5309 in Europe. You know, the card DLC will include Booster Pack 6, Lyrical Booster 3, Booster Pack 7, and Special Series 3 Stratic Chronojet. To our knowledge currently. And then there's also, not included with it will be the character set, which will add character sleeves of Aichi, Kai, and Ren. Characters and fighters of Aichi, Kai, and Ren, which will be skins. Rare card set, which will be SPs included in the booster pack, which this doesn't. This is how you don't know what to tell you. It does not actually tell you like that the rare card set is just an SP of one of each card in a booster pack. Character sleeve set. Each sleeve set features character motif sleeves for the story of the game, and more DLCs will be released on November 17th. Are they saying there's more that we don't know? Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking over this again. Tells us the Bushiroad thing about Kari Vanguard. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So let's kind of like go over there. So already 5309 is not great for this. And I'm going to say also right here, the additional card pass only comes with the DLCs for these 4 sets. Does not include the character set, does not include the rare card set, not the character sleeves, or whatever this additional DLC is going to be in there. Which already is one thing, right? It's like, oh, so... You know what? Now that I realize that, that's even worse. Because when you talk about in the English eShop, which I found out and posted... Now, that's probably there. $69.99 on an English eShop. So it's $70 for a DLC pass that doesn't even include everything. It's just the cards for 4 sets. And it is... And at this point, I was like, okay, you know what? $70 is cool, but if you got like a $20 DLC pass with everything in it, it's fine. But when you got $69 and they only come with the cards on there, this tweet pretty much made sense. This game is dick on the ground garbage. The Shofu meme perfectly fits here. Because how... I ain't never heard of a game like this do this. This is crazy. I'm gonna get this off the screen before we continue. But yeah, no, we come near. It's like it's crazy. What's going on, y'all? Like, hello, Bushy, Fruity, what are y'all smoking? What are y'all smoking? No, I actually want to hope something else too. Also, I'm eating Jolly Ranchers. They're really good. Yeah. Just think between the relevant OGG and Wilderness characters to Setsu. And there's $60 worth of skins. Yeah, if you want all the DLC, it's actually $100, not $70. So it's literally more than the price of the game. We won't get a reason. Okay, I'll say this. I don't think we'll get a reason. Let me search this up because I want to. Can I find this because it was? I don't know if I can. Let me go do some Twitch stuff real quick because there's actually something I really want to find here. But we talk about. Let me like try and like do shenanigans here. Oh, Lee is on the dungeon in P4 that made people cry. If you know, you know. Where are you, Chris? Alright, yeah, I gotta go back to history because there's actually something there that appeared. Yeah, so like, yeah, if we're talking about $100 for everything, if you really truly want everything, it's $100 DLC plus a $7 base game, higher than literally the game of the years that we just went through on stream earlier. That's insane. Like, what are you doing? It's for you retiring against failed past and in-game releases. Money from those games too. Well, I don't know what the heck they're trying to make money from, right? Let's see. Alright. So, I'm gonna look for it in the stream right here because it was actually like pretty... Yeah, it was somewhere around here. Yeah, it's like... I'll come back to this in a second. So... This game is but yeah, no, the point is this game is just terrible. I don't know. Right. I'll talk. I'll go on the video for that ZRV posted in just a second. Talk about it, but it's not great. But I found the actual. I found the thing Chris actually was doing on stream. Let me turn out this video. Oh, Jaren172. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry, this is the first time you're here, and this is the reason. Yeah, I think we all were excited for this game. Um, we'll talk about it. So, hold on. Let me see if I can actually capture. Let me see if I can capture his audio.
My Nintendo store.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's go here.
Y'all hear the audio?
It's one of the Japanese version.
Just double checking.
So I can show you here.
But yeah, like he kind of goes around here, and I'm gonna like kind of scoot up to this. Yes.
So check this out.
Right here.
This is another card game by Furyu, the same developers as Dear Days. The base game price is the exact same, which is this arbitrary 7678.
Right there, already first sign that is a combination of some bullshit. Is 7678 for 7678 yen. So what is yen to dollar? We go to 7678 yen. That is about 55.31 if we transfer it there. So we flipped it. If we go from yen to yen, we go 69.99. I would go 69.99. That is 917 Japanese yen, which is it's a lot. But yeah, let's go back to this.
It is this arbitrary 7678, which like it makes no sense. And then like the super complete version of the game is like 16,000 yen.
Yeah, it has a super complete version, which I want to see. Can I find that? Let's see. Battle Spirits. Spirits. What was the game called? Connected Battlers. Is there like an actual? See, does the fandom like give me something here? I'd like to know. So Howard's now solidified. Better playing experience is going to be postponed to April 14, 2022. So it just released this year. The game would only contain. Hold on. Did I cut out for a second? I didn't even hear myself. The game would only contain cards starting from the Rebirth era, but the official has clarified the older cards will be slowly added in after the release. PS for 9 this can be obtained through purchasing DLC of the game. So there's so now already I'm already kind of here, because okay, so you can actually obtain cards that were from the game before, right? From the Rebirth era, and Rebirth is like interesting chunk amount. So let's go to paid DLC. As promised, before the release of the game, there'll be additional paid content. They announced that there'll be release of BS59 and 2 special cards as DLC on 6th June. There will purchase the DLC. There's the other sets in the first release version. There appears shop players can buy packs through in-game tokens. So that's how Dear Days is going to work. After you purchase DLC, the set will appear in the shop, and players can buy the packs through in-game tokens. So, you still have to grind in-game and play it to still get the cards, right? You don't even get all the cards that immediately you're paying to then grind out the cards. That's basically what's happening. There'll be a red card set the players buy. It would offer 1 copy of every hybrid card in the set, and parallel versions of all the ones parallel versions we offered. And they had a special offer. sets, whatever. Different content special cards and fixed. Is there more details about the DLC? I want to know. This is all the sets that are in here. 52. Is that it? Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Unchained Blades. Okay. Unchained Blades video game. This Unchained Blades, $14.99. Classic dungeon crawling turn-based gameplay, certain narrative voiceovers, four-person battle power artist. Okay. This is from the Nintendo 3DS, which RIP'd at eShop. Are you sure that's the right one? It'll make sense when you do. Oh! Oh, it's a Fruity game. Published by Xseed. Makes sense. Yeah, I just now noticed. I'm like, wait, who's the publisher? First off, I didn't even show the publisher here. Yeah, the publisher is. No, it shows the publisher as Xseed, but the actual developer is Fuyu, which I had to look for. Okay, yeah, it was like XC got all the Marvel's got all the got all the hype off that one. Yeah, but going back to let's go back to
like this is why I think this is Furyu's pricing, and it's Furyu enforcing this is because they've pulled this shit before, and I was hoping that this wouldn't be the case for Vanguard, but
so this is actually like pretty interesting because this is
too?
before I fell
No,
asleep
this
on the
game was
stream.
only out in Japanese.
So this is also another
So
interesting thing here. What he says.
Hey, what's up, Bez?
So it's the same price as Dear Days.
No, it's like
I couldn't
no,
find. I couldn't find it. Like, the balancing. I had to go to the Japanese eShop. Can I go to the Japanese? Can I do that? Is there a way to? Where's the? Oh, can I switch the? Way to actually switch. Wait. Change region. Okay, here we go. Pacific, Japan. Now this is gonna be hard to search for. Search. This is gonna be hard. Already, I've made a mistake. Shoot. Dear Days. Let's see. Dear Days. Go over here. Same price. They're a. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is another thing I need to talk about there. Basher, Bishop Road. More. There's Rush Duel, which also has a demo. Let's see. Where the heck it? Oh my goodness. I'm fumbling this. There, right? The Polish food games prices have been kept in check. That's what you mean. That's what you mean. Like if they're the publisher or the co-publisher, they take a lot of like the actual value. Okay, I see what you mean here. I wish I could find it. But let's go back to the actual thing right here and we'll talk about it. So
he is right. This shouldn't fly in. Oh, camera. Hello. This is a normal.
Yeah, this is like max price for like AAA games in Japan, right? So already we're already suspect.
Shouldn't be doing this. And
oh yeah, and if I can, where are you? Yeah, so again, just going about how messed up this is. This is higher. The DLC in Japan costs higher than the actual game. Thank you for the information, Blesses. But yeah, the price in Japan costs higher than the game, and that's crazy. Like, we're talking about the game's equal amount, like, messed up. Japan has to pay more for the DLC, and they already are way past that. Which is also the problem of, if I can go here, yeah, here we go. Perfect right here. Because for some reason, the English one won't tell me, but this is a perfect one. Card release for Volume 6 Playing Phoenix. It comes out February 2nd, 2023. This is the biggest problem. This is the second biggest problem, if not the biggest problem, with the additional card pack, is that these cards, BTO 6 will come out February 2nd, 2023. Lyrical Monsterio, March 23rd. Volume BTO 7, June 1st. Chronojet, June 29th. I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nobody gonna be playing this game unless you are legitimately like a true banger. Ain't no one's gonna be playing this game online till June 29th, 2023. By June 29th, 2023, I'm gonna be knee deep in 5 other Trails games. By June 2023, I'm gonna be playing Eternites probably. By June 23, I'm gonna have Street Fighter 6. I've got so many games that are gonna come out in between that time, and I've already gotta be like, oh, I gotta spend $70 to have it. And then like, oh, also the RL game will be way past that point. We'll be in probably like the early card rules of BT10 of next Tekken. Yeah, shoot, we might have Tekken. Tekken will be 3, and it will still be closer to this. Now, unless Tekken doesn't have like some way to make rollback, then yeah, no chance. But yeah, we'll have Tekken. We will have every game under the sun, and you want to have us be June 29th? When does the Stride Deck? Stride Deck Chronojet. I'm so bad at typing. Stride Deck Chronojet. Stride Deck Chronojet will release, according to the wiki, will release on February 24th, 2023. In English. It released last week in Japan. So in between Japan's release and its release in the game, that will be 7 months. 7 months until the catch up with right now. That's insane. Alright, so hold on, let me go back to read. I want to highlight that there's a chance that these cards are actually in the game but not playable until unlocked. The alternative is that they aren't single player streams becomes horribly unbalanced by access to cards not covered by the AI decks in the game. Either outcome is terrible. To be clear, it's one thing that was going to highlight in video I have yet to record. Not had time. Understandable. Okay. Yeah, no, it's very similar to the DLC issues. For example, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, one of my favorite fighting games of all time. It had its DLC on disc, like in the code, for all the other 20 characters. I mean, technically it's 18, but really it's 20 because they want to actually like hold off Blake and Yang from Ruby and like use them in the past too, which if it not for the fact that everybody was like, are you smoking crack? They would have put on the DLC and we had to pay for Blake and Yang as Ruby and White sit there just like, where's our rest of our team? Where's the rest of our franchise? You know, Blaze Blue got 15 characters, and here we are with a manga protagonist and and a racist. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's like oh my goodness, man. I know that original like thing of BB Tag was just a hot mess, and it never really got better. Thankful. Basically, when basically BB Tag's immediate first sign of controversy immediately started the downfall of this franchise. But that's a whole nother story I want to talk about later. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Was it Street Fighter Cross Tekken? That DLC was onto this too. Meaning people could go into the Steam version, online version, and actually mod in playable versions of these characters. Which means if they're on the disc confirmed, there's no reason to have them be this late. Which is insane. I've also liked how I've completely... Yeah, that was one of the controversies. Like, Street Fighter Cross Tekken had on this DLC. Which is why that game kind of, like fell through the cracks. But yeah, no.
It's like...
I think the
biggest
biggest damning part about this whole thing is
even in Japan, this.
Let's go. He goes and watches the trailer, and this trailer is crazy. Cause you watch it,
like you just kind of, I don't know.
And the worst part about this game is
they get a different dev.
Not only is this worse than is this
been with
basically
them for so long that
I think this is the part about this that makes the most tragic sense. Not only is this game, not only is Dear Days as a game basically built off EX's engine.
So like this looks the exact same.
But
even
Battle
the pack
Spirits
opening screen looks the exact same as.
Looks almost the exact same. As
I haven't actually watched this trailer before, but this looks the exact same as
in terms of design. Now, granted,
even like the chat box,
like it looks almost the exact same. Now, granted, it has obviously like a different art style for its characters. Has to do a different board. First off, God dang, this board is crusty. This board is bland as hell. Like, yeah, it's like they look just very similar, which I guess is cool, but it's also like, why? What the heck is going on here? That's kind of what I want to kind of point out here. Is like it looks almost the same as a game that just kind of, just kind of there. So, oh God, E3. Oh, you're right. E3 is. You're right. E3 is literally a week before. Who the hell's gonna care about this game when E3 is literally the week of? That. Oh, this game is doomed. Somebody. Oh no. Okay, so I know people were talking about like, oh man, it'd been so nice if why didn't Bushiroad get different developers? Well, here's probably the biggest why didn't get like side games help out? And here's probably the reason, because side games is literally like both a helper and a competitor. Right? Like, yeah, they're working with them for Shadowverse Evolve, but they also have Shadowverse Evolve. Why would they spend the resources to do Shadowverse Evolve? But they could probably just do a Shadowverse game themselves. You're raging with me, you're wrong. I still feel so bad about the rage I had in my video. I just do. I don't like getting upset like that. It's very like a big thing, but it comes from a feeling of passion, because I've had these thoughts for a minute of like, oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to that part in a second, but yeah, yeah, there's gotta be a Shadowverse Flame game gonna come soon, right? There's no way they're just gonna like sit on regular Shadowverse. So it's like, yeah, no, even if Bushy and Side Games are collabing now, that is a title to add to bump on there. Holy cow! Ooh, I just saw that. But yeah, it's like there's just no way they would have a game ready there. So this was already planned before the Side Games like collaboration for Shadowverse Evolve. So it just wasn't gonna happen. So they had to use Fruidio for this game, and yeah, we're seeing kind of the problems with that too. I would say if there's another Vanguard game, they probably won't use Fruidio. They might actually use those side game connections and that's a big if. So let's actually go to, where did I do with it? Do any of us like being upset like that? No, but we do so because Karen feels pain. Yes, that's the biggest thing. And when I talk about it, uh, yeah, but I'll talk about it as like straight up. It's like we go here and we talk about this, but it's like the biggest thing is, I'll kind of talk about it here. I think this is not to be as like a teaser for going up when we talk about everything else. So before we begin, one of the things, and this is one of the biggest things I had to kind of rack myself for the past 2 years, is why there were times where I really just like hard defended Vanguard and Bushiroad for the decisions they made at times, even though I know they're kind of wrong. But I was like, oh man, why y'all still complaining? Yeah, it happened. We can move on, yada yada. That's something I did, and I'm not gonna lie, it's something I did. I was critical, but that's something I really like had to look at. I had to think about it, and I came to this thought process of why, and it's because I still care, and that's always important, right? So long as you have emotions, I think it's the biggest thing. So long as you have an emotion towards something, you still care about it. I still right. I still care about, right. For example, I still care about Ruby. I have emotions because of how much like fumbling Rooster Teeth has done with that franchise. I still care about Attack on Titan, despite how people feel about the ending, or how or how people have acted against people, right? Like I still care about these whole things, right? But the biggest thing is I also need to eventually turn that off because wow, I completely forgot about that. I'll do that later. But like one of the big things is just straight up, I care. Yeah, apathy is not him getting up. The care is gone. I very rarely have had moments of apathy in my life for something. I think the only time I think the first time in a while I've had almost complete apathy is with Harry Potter. I think just the whole mess with J.K. Rowling and everything, and Hogwarts Legacy just kind of looking like a disappointment was the first time I'm like, you know what, I'm good. Like that was the first time in a while I've had apathy for something. I've not had anything for apathy with Vanguard, but man, is it tiring, and how much I've been I there's actually have been points where I've craved for the sweet release of the girl named Apathy. I have craved for Apathy's kiss so much, and it's insane that I even have to say that or feel that. It's not I don't care, it's that I care and I just want to stop caring. I want to move on, but I can't because I love this game too much. This game helped me in my darkest times. And it's a long story, but I have a connection to this game I don't want to give up. And it sucks that the current state of things right now is the way it is. And again, we'll talk about it in a second. So, ZRG posted to talk about this. We're gonna look at ZRG's video. They posted the whole thing about the the DLC, and I kind of want to go through and talk about the points they made here as another talking point to kind of help flesh out my thoughts. So,
with this topic, you can refer back to this video here. I'd like to limit how much I have to repeat myself this time around. You've read the title, so let's cut to the chase. The DLC for Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days is embarrassing.
Digging the ground garbage.
in its pricing and its contents. Dear Days already isn't worth its base 70 USD price tag on Switch, considering it lacks an English dub, a quality English translation,
Oh, oh no, no. Yeah, no, that translation was the most. I think a machine generator would have done better. That's how bad it kind of got at points. I'm doing the demo, and you could just, I could feel in my recording. It's like I am cringing so hard right now, and I was talking about, oh man, it can't be that bad. Like I'm a Falcom fan. I got through the whole. I got through the whole E8 debacle where they literally left in Japanese text in a fully localized game and try to sell you that for $60. Yeah, I could accept no lose attendance as a character quirk. That's cool, right? But it's like, gosh, dang it! How did you fumble this? How did you fumble everything else? But my Vanguard gets stronger here. Guess Guardian last turn was correct move. If this throughs, I'm getting 5th damage. I'll intercept and guard. I might lose if you get a critical trigger, but carrying it too much means using too many cards here. What is this? Critical and damage? Yes. Oh man, I literally was like, I was literally cringing in my video. I'm like, oh no, not critical and damage. No, what's even hilarious is I completely my mind was completely off of critical because I was like this. I was just on this is critical by Bing. Yeah, that Bing brother was in struggle nation. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's like by Bing. That's good. It was done by Bing. Yeah, but it's like holy cow, bro. I'm the only thing I'm praying right now is that they even just bother patching this, which I don't even know. And this is the early game. This is all from the tutorial. If the tutorial is in this hot mess of a state, I can only imagine what the rest of the game is gonna look like. Which is even crazier because I don't think I saw like a lot of stuff from the story mode stuff. It was literally just the dialogue in the game, which was the most like, huh? Like no loose attendant is from the story mode stuff, and even then, that just seems like a cute character quirk. They have time to resolve the translation. They should have time to resolve this translation. But I don't know, considering everything else is crazy.
A physical release, and roughly 6 months worth of the standard format's card pool.
Oh yeah. Also, like I said this in my thing too, was like a freaking uh it's crazy how this game doesn't have a dub either. Like that's also one thing too. It's like it's even more hilarious to me because of how the voices work. They pretty much have ordered, like I counted how many characters were in Dear Days. How many characters are in like the Vanguard Dear Days? Dear Days cover Vanguard. Like you look at all these characters here and you just do things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 characters that had to be newly voiced in the franchise for this one game, combined with our past cast, which is like 10 characters. That's 25 characters. Not to mention, the past cast has already been given voice actors. And thanks to Helena Taylor and all the other stuff with Bayonetta, we know that basically, like for voice actor in a game is about $125 for an hour in the booth. Which, unless this game is the length of Trails of Cold Steel 3, I don't think you're going to be spending a lot of money getting these voice actors in the booth. Like, I think you get like an hour, 2 out of them each, right? And then you can also just double up on some. I was searching some of. Yeah, Central Fiction was completely with no dub. It was only localized, but never was not dubbed, because I think it was because they wanted to just release the game. Yeah, I think it's that they want to release the game in a quick time, so that it would be. I don't know if it was because it was for Evo or it's because they just wanted to have it like closer for like a more tournament scene or whatnot. But like that's one of the reasons why it didn't get dubbed. And like they did say, they came out later and said like to have dubbed it also would have to. I need to dub it at the time when they said, when they talked about like dubbing it now. I think they said it would cost like 100,000, which when there's how many red lines? I mean, considering, I mean, to be fair, this is currently just the characters we know of, right? A family-friendly game called Vanguard Dear Days opening story. This is only the characters we know of that are completely original. I think the other issue is I think the other issue with like the lack of like characters in Dear Days is not the game's fault per se, because like there's only so many characters you can just create off the bat new, but it's also just kind of the fact that, and this is kind of criticism I had with Overdress. I still haven't done that review or talk about discussion, whatever. It was a video I'm probably gonna work on and try and get out later. But one of the big problems to me with Overdress was that this it had kind of like a really small cast if you compare it to like all the other like Vanguard things. Not to mention it was 12 episodes, which was shorter than any Vanguard series, so you didn't even have time to develop the characters you did have. And then, the whole thing was Donji took up so much of the screen time, it became insane. This motherfucker right here took up so much like importance in the screen time in season 1 that a lot of that honestly, let's be honest here, a lot of the Overdress characters didn't really get to grow as a lot or become like fan favorites. I know people love Tamari, but that's just because she's a legal age woman with short shorts and big breasts. That's pretty much it. And Different Fight likes her, right? Outside of that, no one's really writing for other characters like that except Inky Marty for Yu Yu. and Beret, but that's it. Right? Like you have people writing for still for Luna, Inishi, Chrono, Aichi, Ren, Kai, Asuka, the like you know shoot for Shion, Tokuha, everything. You see people who are just riding for these characters in the past, but we haven't had like someone outside of like Inkimati being straight up like, yeah, I'm rooting, I'm riding, Broncos country, let's ride. No one's riding like that for the cast of Overdress like that. So already you have a cast that hasn't really like gotten crazy like that. It'd be Advocate pieced out for a whole season. To be fair, I think Sox is cool, but like I also agree. It's like, yeah, it's like a lot of these characters didn't get anything, and even though season 2 and Will Dress did improve on a lot of that, even then some still didn't get anything. I still talk about how much the characters in Will Dress season 2 that weren't like pretty much the top 8, that didn't make top 8, got L's, right? Like legitimately, I talked to Zen and he was like, and when they talked about the like when what's her name, the character who played Barrow Magnus in Will Dress, when her birthday came up, there were literally people like, wait, who are you again? And she was a character like people were like feeding for when the reveal started. Yeah, Team Spider Lily's like leader. She got nothing. Oh, I need to drink this real quick. T is good. But yeah, it's like, so its cast is already small. It's trying to catch up to even a closer cast. So it's like, yeah, like, and also because of how, and this is what I'm gonna say, like, I'm assuming the original plan was not to release. I'm assuming the plan, what was originally going on was Dear Days, and I hope this is the play, because otherwise it'd be the worst thing of all time. Yeah. So my idea is, because of the story and whatnot, I think who said it earlier? Who said it? Who said it? I'm trying to think who said it. It was talking about timing. My idea is probably, and I was wondering, like, why on earth would they not just add this? But I think probably the point is, and this is kind of the biggest thing too, is like, well, they're kind of like it has to do probably with the story, but why one of the things here is because this is going to take place in between season 2 of Overdress and season 1 of Will Dress, in that year time frame, most likely before this dude just like completely yeets out the picture. It makes Yu the leader, and Donji just like fully goes back to Mirai and Gravidia lady. Yeah, you see the problem. Known her for 2 seasons, do not care about her name. That's a problem. Yeah, it's like, literally, like, Toya leaves, Donji goes back to his sister, and then Yuyu's left alone with probably one of the most disliked female characters in the base cast, and Tamari and Zaxa. Like, the only way I can see is like if they add like the little like other Daybreak characters. Blackout characters, like a Kane and dude who played a Hexa Orb. Like, if they get like actual like ability to be played, that'd be cool. Was there 10 rides of BTO 2 more in BTO. It's 80 plus 3 in lyrical, which I have no idea how it runs in between just number 1 and 2. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, there's a lot of that's the weird thing. There's a lot of questions here. So, all right, let's go back to your video.
So the fact that just 3 days before the game's release, they had the gall to announce another $70 worth of DLC that only serves to sell those missing cards back to you is disgusting. We're still waiting on the Steam version's price tag, and they're already announcing wildly overpriced, deliberately cut content for the game. And to add insult to injury, by the time all the DLC is released, the game will still be ages behind the physical card game. Presumably so they can sell you the next $70 piecemeal expansion pass with Set 8 and the Messiah Stride deck.
Oh my god. Hold on, let me go back here. Yeah, think about that. The Messiah Stride deck will be out in English before Stride deck say will be out in English before March. Was it March? Will be out before. Hold on, what was the price? March 3rd. It'll be out 2 weeks before Lyrical Monasterio 2 in English. Hey, you know what? That's fine. I mean, oh my god, what is happening to that? What is happening to the chat? The chat is having a seizure on my screen. Good lord. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. That is insane. Yeah, all the time you probably before I even get the second set of DLC in Dear Days. I just noticed that. Holy cow. That's crazy.
A Stride deck. I need to really drive this point into the dirt so that we're on the same page here. The game that released before Dear Days, Vanguard EX, released at a time where the gap between its card pool and the IRL card pool was 2 weeks.
Yeah. EX was literally 2 weeks after Raging Tactics, which is insane. Now, granted, this was a good stopping point because this is the last set before Shinamon, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense to stop there. And the very least, when it did stop there, that's had like what 20-25 sets. Y'all still getting the game? I am getting the base game only. I kind of made that come to Jesus moment when I kind of like realized this, like I can at least do like a playthrough or like upload the story mode or something and just go on, do a review. Personally, I've thought about it mostly because beef. I'm not gonna lie, I got hit with the genjutsu. Uh, Literally the day before we got the DLC prices, I put like money into my Steam account for Dear Days on in case it did because I was like, I can just stream it. It's cool. I can find something to do with Vanguard. We can talk about Vanguard and whatnot. I mean, I came up to that moment when I put the money in the Steam account just to hold it in case, something happens IRL, but, I couldn't really get it, or more so just because I was K and I've got a different way to get poked. Like, I already saved the money. I put it in there. I've already got different ways to go, like, get money for Pokemon if something else happens. I've got a secondary saving whatnot. I finally got a job, so like I can take the hit now a little bit when I get the paycheck next week. Like I'm cool. I was cool with it, and then they pulled this BS, and I'm like, well, shoot. And it weren't for the fact that the only other game I really contemplate wanting to play is a game made that has connections to Rooster Teeth. Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to justify. I probably might just keep it sitting there. Who knows? I don't know. I might still get it, even though, but only the base game. I refuse to get the DLC. They're smoking crack with that. That's it's just dumb. That's my stance on it. I wish I could be like, no, I'm not getting the game. I'm only here ranting, and like telling people don't get this game. But I personally am still gonna get it. Like base games is decent enough, and I want to at least check out the story myself and like do probably a review on it and then move on. Just to be like, yeah, this is not how to do any of this. If anything's there, right? I'll take the hit for the ones that won't. I will be the martyr. Yeah, if just wait for a sale. I say, like, we're coming close to winter. There'll be some sales, etc., etc. That's pretty much it. But going back to this one side, check what the heck happened outside. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I can get $5 EX. Damn, I get five. Yeah, I think we can get on money. Then if you bought EX and you went crazy on it, and you still feel like you go crazy out of it with Dear Days without the DLC, wait for a sale. Just wait for a sale or everything. But that's kind of the biggest thing. That's the price is already the issue. No, that's also I don't think it did talk about. Yeah, I talked about the lack of dub part, which is kind of like the big thing. It's like, yeah, you have all these characters, you have to dub, and like we know how cheap it actually could be to dub them because we know straight up how the prices in the gaming industry are for voice actors now, thanks to the Bayonetta situation. It doesn't really cost you that much, and I don't think. And you know what, I'm gonna say, you probably could get less because I don't think any of these people are exactly union people. I definitely don't know if Lily Pichu are people's union. I think you can get $80 to her and just say like, hey Lily, we need you to say Aniki like a good 5, 6, 50 times, and you be done, right? Right. So it's like, yeah, you probably could get a lot of price, but again,
Not 2 months, 2 weeks. And the game that released before EX, Stride to Victory, didn't sell the Legion Mate characters.
gosh dang it, sorry, but it's just annoying me.
To $7 skins either. Oh, right, I forgot to mention that on top of the sets they're selling back to you, Dear Days also has Day 1 DLC skins
like
for
this, by the way.
Aichi, Kai, and Ren.
Yeah, honestly, my biggest problem: how you gonna sell me Aichikai and Ren? How you gonna sell me these 3 again for the umpteenth time? Bro, I'm tired of seeing this twink. I'm sorry. It's like, I love you, Aichi, but gosh dang it, I'm tired of seeing you. I had to see you through another bad anime for 2 years. Why do I have to keep seeing your face? I know you're our Yuki, but come on, dog. And it's even hilarious because the Stride deck. Are we gonna get a Chrono skin for the Stride deck set? That'd be crazy if we got a Chrono skin for the Stride deck set. Despite the fact that's what you gotta do. Stride deck set, get a Chrono skin, have Mark Ishii voice him, and just go crazy. You know what? That's the only way I will buy that DLC. But yeah, you really selling me Aichikai and Ren again,
Because
dog.
of course they're Day 1 DLC.
This is where I bring up the point of correction from the video. Not skins is DLC for free fight against Aichikai and Ren. Oh, this is free fight stuff. Interesting.
DLC. The concept of a rushed, incomplete game releasing only to be plugged up by DLC that feels more like cut content than a proper expansion is nothing new. Pokemon Sword and Shield being prime examples in this case, since Dear Days has been drawing other Pokemon comparisons as of late.
Oh, check pin comment? Okay. Quick correction. When I wrote the script for this video, I was in the assumption that I'm just a usable player. But I was informed after the fact DLC all gets off being able to fight because of straight free fight and the eternal continue the main was real just on characters. Guide receipt. Not saying that would have happened, guide receipt in case special, but yes. Yes, that's pretty much it. Yeah, even then they wouldn't have done that in Stride to Victory.
Those games sported some of the worst writing in the mainline series to.
But you don't remind me about Sword and Shield's fumbling. I just the first part about
visibly
it
ran out of development time from the 7th gym onward and had virtually no post-game beyond the battle tower.
Like that still hurts. Like I'll at least say like it as a little like side through to Pokemon real quick. At the very least they found something interesting, like cool to do aesthetically with Spikemo's town. Even if they had him even if they had pure sounding like that meme of Elvis trying to do ain't nothing but hound dog, but it's just him squeaking on the floor. But you know, they at least still had something aesthetically to do it. So I was 7. The 8th one was definitely like, damn, y'all really just ran out of money somehow. Y'all somehow ran out of money in a Pokemon game. That's crazy. And then you put all the rest of the money into the vast hour. Mentions getting wrong. All this pretty price skins. Not skin is what you should be in the game to start with. Remember the Sister-Cat was a completion bonus in Stride to Victory? That was a thing? This game. That's insane. You mean to that? You know what's even worse? EX had one slot that was like just randomly like, who's this gonna be? And I think everyone's like thinking about, oh, it's probably gonna be like a DLC for like Shin to kind of like be like something cool for him to add the Shinamon stuff or something. That was a theory that happened and went as fast as possible. Probably because EX didn't even sell well at launch, right? Like I think based on what Toya posted on Twitter, like EX only dropped 3K first week, 3K units first week, or before it actually went on sale. So if that's the case, like, yeah, no, that DLC got scrapped immediately. Yeah, the point stands is that this would not have happened in literally the past. Yeah, it makes sense, right?
And yet 2 months later, the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra were announced for $30 in total, despite the game not being anywhere near complete enough to justify selling that expansion. If a game needs paid DLC to feel like a finished product, then the developers have failed their players.
I also want to kind of say this here about Sword and Shield. Like, even the DLC, honestly, the DLC felt like it didn't even. Honestly, the DLC felt like they wrote a whole different story. They wrote a whole different game. They were just like, we will not talk about this again. Listen, the only thing we're gonna have is like that extra tournament, and then have a Peony be Rose's brother allegedly, and that is it. Rose's brother and like the dude be Leon's dude, but that's it. Now, I also agree, like, yeah, no, that game was unfinished, but like, bro, it's more so like Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra were more finished than Sword and Shield. They were already complete games. They actually could have released as a standalone like game for $30. I think you probably get more value off it. Lord Smash, you can stop talking about Ultra Sun and Moon. I'm sorry. Ultra Sun and Moon is technically the canonical thing because it's the complete version. I don't want to talk about Ultra Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun and Moon is one of the 2 Pokemon games I have never completed. Oh! The Assistant Cat encounter using MLB deck and lock up victory action and use roll paladins was he would get a break right MLB deck. That's so. What has happened to the gaming industry? This is you're depressing me more by saying that the unlockable character gave you Royal Paladins for for MLB. That's insane. You're hurting me. Why is this dang?
But you see, there's a very distinct difference between Sword and Shield and Dear Days. With Sword and Shield, there was no true way for you to know if the game felt feature complete without playing it, or spoiling yourself on the entire game via YouTube or leaks. By virtue of being a digital equivalent to a pre-existing physical card game, we know exactly how complete Dear Days will feel at launch long before it releases. There's no hiding that fact, which is likely why they waited so long to reveal what the base game's card pool would include, and why they waited even longer to reveal the price tag on the DLC. The longer they wait, the higher the chance that they can get people to take a leap of faith, knowing full well that trying to get a refund from the eShop is nigh impossible. And forgive me for breaking out the tinfoil hat at the 11th hour, but I'd be willing to bet that this is exactly why Dear Days hasn't been available for pre-order on Steam. Because if it was, there'd be a much higher chance of those early adopters being able to get their money back when things went even further south. It's deceptive.
Okay, I'll put this point on here. It's not like it's not like you don't also have the price on Steam and can't like pre-order a game. Again, going back to the Trails routes, Trails from Zero was actually $39.99. But you couldn't actually get the game and you couldn't see the actual like pre-order and price and everything until you couldn't actually buy the game until the day it released, until the day it dropped. You couldn't do that. And I've seen a couple other games that haven't done that. And Trails of Zero is a really good game. So I don't think that's the whole point of why they haven't done pre-orders, but rather something else that you did mention in this video that will come to play later.
Manipulative, and all around, just really scummy shit for Bushiroad and Furyu to pull on their longtime fans, especially after being forced to wait this long to finally get a Vanguard game outside of Japan. You know, normally around this time, I'd have at least another half.
So I did see your thing on Twitter. You was this the point where you just like literally gave up and just probably like, freestyle? Did you just kind of just freestyle this one?
Of a proper script to burn through, I'd rattle off detailed examples
I could
of
fully
better
understand.
handled DLC, like Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak or Smash Ultimate's Fighter's Pass, to show how beneficial DLC can be when it's done right.
Yes.
But the more I wrote, the more frustrated I became, and above all else, the more exhausted I became by all this.
Yep.
I started out ecstatic about this game's announcement and the potential for modding support on Steam. I even contemplated reviewing the game to put more eyes on it outside of the player base.
Okay.
I rightfully raised hell when they left the possibility of online play up in the air, when that should have been on the official website day one, and heaved a heavy sigh of relief when it was finally confirmed. When the last Direct of the year rolled around, I gave it a mention and even a spot in the thumbnail for my predictions, because I had some hope that this game would be marketed beyond some Google translated tweets.
Oh yeah, that is, again, you would think, but if I've learned anything from the past years, that if there's very little like marketing money for some games, I'm gonna tell you right now. Again, going back to Trails from Zero was the only Trails game to release this year, considering the whole big thing, and that game got almost no real like anything about its release in the West here. Didn't get anything in any Nintendo Direct, didn't get anything in a State of Play, didn't get anything at any other gaming shows. It literally got no information. And I can understand the difference with Trails from Zero, and this was going to Deer Days, is Trails from Zero was a game that released about 10 years ago. It is using an already completed fan translation for it, and it's $40. Even though I would have loved for so many people to know, hey, this game that people have been waiting for almost 5-7 years, that is well loved in this giant JRPG franchise that feels like the good days of the MCU. Hey, yeah, releasing a new game, and then its sequel's gonna come out in another like 4 months, and then the new game will have the new 3D game for the Erebonian saga, which is after this, which includes this, will then release. So now you have so many games to get into. You have a good starting point to get into it. I would love that, but I can understand why they probably didn't put that budget in there. This had no excuse. It's literally a $70 game. It's a $70 game that people have been wanting in English for a long time. So it's like, bro, how did you fumble this back? How did you not go to Nintendo, but like, hey, Nintendo, hey, how did Kodai not pull up to Doug? I'm not saying you would have gone straight to Doug Bowser, but I'm just saying, like, this because I forgot who the actual president of Nintendo Japan is. How did he not go to Nintendo Japan, said, hey, what's up, my brother? How you doing? I need you to put this on the next Nintendo Direct, both in Japanese and English, for our TCG game. You know, put that in a blooper reel, whatever. Just make sure people know it exists. How did you not do that? How did you not do that? Like, that should have been on a Direct easy. Understandable. I'm like, y'all need to talk about what's going on, y'all. This should have been the easiest like back secure in Vanguard's lifespan, straight up. And somehow you could even do that.
You would think that with all the other collabs Bushiroad has done with non-Vanguard content creators, that hitting up Team APS, Millie, or Finana with a code for a sponsored stream would be in the cards. You would think that if Bushiroad wanted this game to do well, they would push it outside their own social media bubble at all. Unless, of course, they already knew that the game was far below an acceptable standard and didn't want to waste the effort on a lost cause. You have to understand.
Yeah, this kind of was the big thing I was gonna say. And let me go back to the talking about the influencers. Yeah, right around here. This was probably the moment this is when I realized, and when you said this, it finally clicked in my head. Like, this is how I knew they had no shot saving this game. And why, when the price came up, they were like, yeah, no, this is not going to be it. Because, okay, that's cool. You know, if you can't get Ninja Sanji, people who have already done, whatchamacallits, for, you know, yeah, okay, I'm losing it, sir. Let me talk about this myself. For the concept of how many people were just about to there, yeah, like the Overdress TVs, EPS, Negative Legend, Fiona and Millie did some Vanguard Zero stuff or Vanguard stuff in general. Nova Academy, the VTuber, has been wanting Bushiroad to do literally anything with her for so long. It's insane. So, and what's even worse is if the game's this bad, that means you've also, because you haven't given anyone an say, hey, here's something we get there. Like, for example, in a Psalm's last video with MBT said he'd be willing to try Vanguard again. He only played once, a few games long ago, but he'd be willing to come back and try it again. Imagine if you got MBT to do a Vanguard stream, dog. If you gave a code to Farfa, hey Farfa, here's a code for our game, right? Here's a code for our Vanguard game, right? You know, we know you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and we know you want to try some other things. You know you play other games. Here you go. Right? That's one of the big things games do when they have an upcoming release. It's hey, let's get someone from outside just the general content creators of the community to do some promo for this, right? Again, right here, Team APS, Millie, Diana, right there. Imagine, I hate saying this, but imagine you got one of the Hololive girls to do a Vanguard Dear Day stream. Right? They come and try it and be hey, you want to try our video game? You want to try our video game for a TCG? You want to do that? It's cool. You know, got someone else with at least 500 things who also has TCG limits, right? There was an NFL player I know plays Vanguard. Guess what Magic did for the 30th anniversary? For that trash ass set, they still got a professional sports athletes to promote that product still, right? If Magic did that, and you would get some random homie who been ready to talk about Vanguard for nonstop, have a stream while he's recovering from past game, shoot, from a Thursday night football game, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane. It's there's so many people who actually not just like this game, but also people who are big enough that they could actually get in there. And the fact that they have not done that with these people, now granted we don't know currently, but that kind of leads to the second point I have, which is, and this is the biggest part, is and this is what you said too, and let's put there, I don't know if Tolarian would do a Dear Days game. I definitely don't want Alpha Investments in there. Sorry. But it'd be interesting if they actually like tried it out. That'd be interesting. That's the final part collab. Like TAPS and Tulare Community College did like a video on Vanguard Dear Days and like teaching one of the teachers them Vanguard, and they just kind of talk about it. That'd be interesting. They just both like talk about a game together. That'd been interesting. Um, but yeah, I think that's the
For a sponsored stream would be wanted this game to do well, they would push it outside their.
now here's the other thing about the whole thing. The fact that I think what's also the biggest thing is the fact that they haven't pushed it in the circle. Like, the moment I realized that they were literally just like, we are so ashamed of this game and how the state is going to be and how we're pushing a $70 product. The fact that we don't know this currently, but I don't know if Chris would probably be under NDA for whatever, but the fact that he has not said he has had a code for, he said, I do not have a code for Dear Days. The fact that our biggest content creator, with 50K subscribers, does not have a code for the biggest Vanguard release of the year for a game that he could literally walk. He is right next door. Kadani could drive to his house, hand him a copy of Dear Days, and says, "Go forward, my son, and bring us prosper." And he still wouldn't do it. And they still ain't done it. Brother, right outside the house, could literally walk down to Bushy Road HQ and get a copy. And they still haven't done that for him? Who still buy his own copy over physically? Yes! And it's like, man, how about you get Solomon code? What about Orange? What about I don't know, maybe Toku, maybe Tony, maybe like, I'm trying to think of all these things. Hell, give one the W slasher at this point, dog. Like, the fact that there has been no codes, the fact that we know that there hasn't been a early access code, because most of the time, unless it's like release day, which is Tuesday, just probably get like a review coming out by tomorrow, if not on the release day, for obvious reasons, like, yeah, you can't say none today. The fact that there is no like review, means that there's no codes at all. So it's like, wow, they literally had no faith in this, or like, hey, imagine you could give IGN a code and been like, you know what, it's actually really good. I think the only problem is the price, but outside that, I think this game is really fun. Vanguard is a really fun game. I say get it. I give it a 6 to a 7. Bam. Like 6 to 7. Bam. IGN says it. It's like, oh, you got some more eyes on it. People are like, wait, there's a Vanguard game? I might actually go buy it. That's cool. Right? I think the only person you could not give a code to is Stephanie Sterling, but that's it. That's it. That's all you could do. And I don't know if I even said their name right there. I'm sorry. I think I just kind of flipped there. So, yeah, that's the fact that they're not even proud to show it. Jim Sterling, if Jim Stephanie Sterling, the the content creator who does a lot of journalism. Yeah. So, but yeah, the fact that they don't even feel confident giving it to their own players, and it's not like they can't do it. Let's go back to let's switch back to English. If I can find it. How do I turn it back? How do I turn it back? Oh no. Can I just like go backwards? Here we go. Let's go back to the US. And it's not like you don't have anything. Let's go to. Can I go to Steam? Steam Store. It's not like they don't have games that they can't give out colors for free. Let's look at the Furyu games that have, right, that are done by Furyu. Flicker Effect Overdose, Monarch, Lost Dimension, TriStar. I've definitely seen them give out codes for these games. These games have had early reviews done by people. So it's definitely not like, oh, we can't do it. You can do it. You just didn't do it. Where the heck am I?
Already knew that the game was far below an acceptable standard and didn't want to waste the effort on a lost cause. You have to.
So that's another, so that's far below acceptable standard. So what would be far below an acceptable standard? Is it the lack of the upcoming 6, 7, 8 sets and the Stride Deck set? The lack of the collab sets in there either? The potential for some characters not being in there because of, right? I think the story stuff I'm cool with. Like, hey, if you can't have Yururu and Raika and all them being the game, then it's fine. I understand. You had a timeline for the game story to be there. It'd be weird to have like all those characters that should not technically be there in the story and be like, we don't know who you are. It'd be weird to do that. So that's that. I can get behind them not having those characters in there. But I think the fact is like, well, how bad is the rest of the game? Is it a buggy mess? That'd be weird. Is there something else we don't know about with EX that was just past the prologue? Did you leave some? It's like, so if there was something that you just didn't feel confident with doing it, then why did you not fix it over here in the West? Was the localization not bad? Do you have some E8 Japanese text in there? Like, repeat Sukurok? I wish I knew what happened with Sukurok. Again, all I know about is like about janked localizations and laggy games is what happened with East 8, where like legitimately like the game was just unfinished localized and had bugs that weren't in the original English version, so bad that they had that Durante, who basically now works at NS America for every like Falcon game, basically slaved over a hot stove for 2 years to make that game a better version of its final version of Japan. They had that man slave over a hot keyboard to make that game where is Mirror, do you want to swap places with the unit? I don't remember that happening. Then again, I don't think I played Sukurok and Murakumo. That was me. But like, I don't think a Sukurok issue would be that crazy. It would have to be multiple Sukurok issues, right? It'd have to be worse than Sukurok. That would be what's going on, and that'd be insane. Like, we trying to buy a $70 game, and you give us this, and we literally are like unplayable. Like, you check the over trigger, game just crashes, yeets the credits. It's like, thank you. We have a Yoko Taro situation where it's like, oh well, the game is unable to be played. You now have to like redo the whole game again. If like you lose a certain fight, it's not plot relevant. That would be kind of like what would happen. So let's go back
to understand
almost done.
That this isn't the only game I've been looking forward to. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are shaping up to be the first mainline game since OG Sun and Moon that I might wholeheartedly enjoy again.
Yep, Skyfire's crazy. I love when checking OT pulls up to Space Station. Yep. Get all that. It's like you check the over trigger, it ruins your Xenoblade 3 save file. It just deletes the game off your Switch. It's like, how the hell? Oh, if that would have happened, that'd be the most hilarious thing, and that would be it. Like that's it. Like we can't afford another PR nightmare where we're already in the gulag for Vanguard. Now imagine being already in the gulag, and then all of a sudden just like you just get slapped in the face with a trout, and then I don't know, like the homie next to you blows up. That's the only thing I got. That's the only other like way I can go there. But it's like that just be crazy.
Sunbreak has more title updates down the pipeline. Genshin continues.
It's still crazy to me that Monster Hunter Rise is still getting updates. That's really cool. Right? Like Monster Hunter Rise is still getting updates for 2 years. And then Scarlet Violet looks really good too. Like I I read the spoilers and no spoilers, but like I'm like, dang. I really made a mistake putting that $70 into my Steam account. I really made a mistake with this one.
Moon that and going into next year, it'll be impossible to get me to shut up about the Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Also, yeah, Genshin.
And going into next year, it'll be impossible to get me to shut up about the Battle Network Legacy Collection, the prospect of an Explorers of Sky DX,
that'd be cool,
or the story portion of Xenoblade 3's DLC.
Especially Xenoblade Stories thing. If that's actually Kino, oh no. But yeah, the whole point is like, yeah, no, there's so many games coming out that at this point, why am I spending $140 where I could probably cop what this theoretical mystery dungeon remake, this legacy collection of Xenoblade in, and still have money for all the other stuff that was just mentioned, and still roll some gacha. I trust Takahashi's vision. Hey, his vision is 2020. That game was fire. I still stand by my votes in the Game Awards.
As far as games are concerned, I'm still set, even if one dud like this rolls along.
Right. I talked about Trails of Zero there. Again, another Trails thing. Play Trails. Trails of Azure releases in March or April. Trails in the Reverie, the first game in the timeline in a while, same year. Naito no Kiseki releases late December. 3 Trails games, already cool. Like already cool with games just off those 3 alone. Eternights, hopefully it's good and fun. Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8 if it does release. Maybe Multiverses Season 2 is fire. Right? There's so much other stuff that I would rather have than Dear Days. And it's DLC. In fact, stuff I can usually spend that money on.
But it's just infuriating to see the card game that's been with me since late middle school send its first, and let's be real here, last video game localization out to die without even attempting to course correct.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing too. It's like I don't know. You know what? I want to ask y'all cuz it's getting late and I'm getting really hungry. I was going to talk about the whole State of Vanguard thing, but I feel like we could probably like take that into a stream tomorrow. Like I just want to ask before we go and close this one out. Would you rather do like a whole State of Vanguard stream? I get like someone to like get on like Discord and we talk about it. Would y'all rather do that tomorrow, or would you know, or what? Because it's kind of getting late over here, and I'd rather just like have anything to eat and just be able to do that. So that's a question I want to ask. Tomorrow or sometime later this week. Like I'll probably do it tomorrow. I'll probably just like we'll finish this video, talk about Dear Days things, and then tomorrow we'll talk about probably. Yeah, do tomorrow? Okay, yeah, we'll do tomorrow, probably start around the same time. And, same time, because if, something happens and your days unlocks early, like, you know, we'll have that access. So yeah, we'll talk about, yeah, I'll put a post on Twitter and YouTube tomorrow about it. So, you know, but yeah.
As it stands, Bushiroad is content with letting a prime opportunity to bring in new players slip through their fingers in favor of burning bridges with one half of their fans and preying on the loyalty of the other half. Though, I suppose this isn't the first time that Vanguard...
Oh boy. Oh, tomorrow's gonna be fun. Tomorrow's gonna be fun. Yeah, no, it's wild. And this is what I think people kind of, I think when people say, well, you could buy Dear Days, you could do etc, etc. Okay, hold on. First question, because it's probably gonna be ending soon. Did you mean V series as a whole, or were you talking about just this particular season? I mean, either way, you're right, but I'm just specifically asking. Yeah, this is gonna be a hell and a half. I might need to like get like a screenshot of this real quick to have like as the big talking point. That'd be something. Yeah, no, this is a lot, but definitely like the biggest. It was mainly MLV is pretty ass in totality. I mean, I'm just saying this, like, if you're talking about like you're talking about like dropping the ball, this is the one that like dropped the whole ball. Like it dropped it on his foot. It dropped the bowling ball on his foot. It bounced up and dropped on the other foot. It crushed both feet. But you know, to kind of point, there's like I think a lot of people don't get is like smoothing still. That was, oh my goodness. It was so crazy. It sometimes like, man, this fight would be so cool if it didn't what was it? That fight was like one of the moments is like how it was almost how like people feel about it's like what people feel about that Naruto versus Pain fight, like that final like episode of Naruto versus Pain where like people are getting off model and things are just gone straight up wonky and everything. That's what that episode where like Ibuki's melting, Aichi's turning to a skeleton, etc., etc. That is what they're actually meaning, not that one. It has issues, but it still at least animated like amazingly. That one was just like, wow, they're off model and they trash. Yeah, it's like exactly. I wish we had the. Oh man, it's crazy, but yeah, there's a lot we gotta talk about for that one tomorrow. Like I kind of expected to go this long, but I also like, man, this is gonna be longer than I thought. So yeah, I think the final thing about it is just I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say. I think the biggest issue with like a lot of people don't understand what the issue with Dear Days and Surprise DLC is. A lot of things are gonna go wrong. Like people can't enter, the new players can't enter. I think the final takeaway, and I think if now if I figure out what we're trying to say with Dear Days, a lot of the potential this game had kind of fell down the toilet in rapid succession as time went on. We've got very little data, we got very little information, and then the biggest thing is upon I think the biggest issue, and this will go into a topic later for tomorrow, will be I think the people who are trying to defend this game don't understand just how much negativity or just how many issues with this game can roll and roll and roll and roll and going crazy. The DLC being same price as the base game here in English. The fact that you would have to jump through hoops to get a cheaper variant. The base price being $70. You know, I know we're in a post Master Duel world, but even then, like other games in the other TCG landscape, like Shadowverse and Shadowverse and Rush Duel being $40 to $30 is already a thing. You could buy a Legacy to Duelist and have a bigger card pool than Dear Days for pretty much $20 and have way more stuff to play around with. The amount of stuff it's missing compared to its other competitors is already one thing. And then you look at the whole that's the timing. And then you look at just the gaming industry in and of itself, and people weren't happy with the Skyrim being $70, but you could at least be like, oh, it's everything in DLC, and Skyrim is a really good game. You know, sounds really protected, whatever. So we could justify that. $7 games like Spider-Man Miles Morales or God of War Ragnarok or whatever AAA title, Horizon Forbidden West. Again, there's a reason why we did the Game Awards voting earlier, because this is important. So that is pretty much the biggest thing, straight up. There's a lot about this game that doesn't work from a gaming industry standpoint, doesn't work from a TCG game standpoint, doesn't work from a new player standpoint, doesn't work for a returning player standpoint, doesn't work for competitive player standpoint. Unless you don't care, unless you like the game, but you're really into it for its lore and its characters and whatever, there's nothing really much for you here. Unless you're a lore junkie, there's not much here. And even then, you could just go and do anything else. Or you're like Core, and you would spend 500 hours playing this game anyway. Yeah, I think that's kind of my final thing. It's I'm as hard as it is to be to me, the final piece of Dear Days is more so what it represents for Vanguard in this year and potentially going forward. Because I'll probably say this in a more complete video when I do it, because I want to talk about more. I might, I'll say it in the stream and then I'll really clean it up there. It's to me, this is probably one of the worst years of Vanguard, especially this back half, especially from BCS onwards. Has just been kind of clunky and disastrous. And I think Dear Days is the culmination of all of that coming home to roost. And I still don't think people really get how impactful that is going to be heading into 2023. I'm gonna say it, 2023 will be the biggest thing for Vanguard in the West. Not overall, I mean somewhere Vanguard in the West. Because there's so many games that are gonna come out. There's so many games that have yet to leave, right? Vanguard was the 4th TCG in I'll get you into that device in a second. Vanguard was the 4th TCG for so long, mostly because any other TCG that really came and went, or really, really fell down in the cultural zeitgeist. But now we're in an era where Digimon and One Piece is literally about to come out in 22 days. One Piece is literally going to come out in 22 days, officially. Battle Spirits, and that game in Japan is literally selling out so hard, people are in line like crazy. I'm trying to think what else. Disney Lorcana is gonna come out soon. There's also going to be Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood's been crazy. And then you look at the game's gonna come out Battle Spirit Saga, Lorcana, uh, Grand Archive. Those are like the big 3 games that have come out. Like, it's going to be a fight, and I don't think people understand how crazy that fight is. We were allowed, the community and the game was allowed to coast for years because no one was ready to actually come out and hit him with the jaw, and the games that did come out were games that either worked in tandem or were by the same company, so there was no real like fight. There was no real like opponent right now. Now Bandai is literally about to run Bushiroad's pockets. If Build a Divide, thanks to like Build a Divide Bright, finds a second win, it will come for Weiss's pockets, maybe. Because all of Weiss's games, all of Weiss's stuff, also is mostly from Aniplex. Like, let me pull up Aniplex. Let's look up all of Aniplex's series. I think Wikipedia has it. Let's look up everything Aniplex has for anime production. We've got 86, Ace Attorney, Aonoa Zero, Angel Beats, Anohana, Baccano, Back Arrow, Banana Fish, Black Butler, Black Rock Shooter, Bleach, Blend S, Blood, Blue Exorcist, Vanitas, Cells at Work, Charlotte, City Hunter, D. Gray Man, Darker Than Black, Darling in the Franxx, for what that worth, Darwin's Game, Demon Slayer, Devilman Crybaby, Dog Days, da. Going on to the second list, Fate! They own all of the Fate anime! Ghost Stories, if they want to do something like Gintama, Gurren Lagann, like Inuyasha, Inyashiki, Kabaneri, Monogatari, Seven Deadly Sins, Ranking of Kings, Madoka, Powerpuff Girls Z. They could get access to Powerpuff Girls. Right? Aniplex has so many series that could actually like push out to try and fight for connection to fight for like viability with everything. Is like, it's crazy. And Battle Spirits, I already talked about Battle Spirits, right? So hold on, let me go back and chat and kind of talk about this real quick. Is you think this year's been worse than year 3 V? The difference is with year 3 of V is year 3 of V was catastrophic at one point, right? It was at one singular point where year 3 of V was catastrophic, and that was BT10 when BT10 was so overpowered by Luard that like you could buy all 3 decks for the price of one Luard Grade 3. Like, that was catastrophic, and then we were in a tier 0 format so badly that they had to emergency ban the main, which then shot shops. It was a big bomb. It was a very disastrous bomb, don't get me wrong. But more so the bombs that have happened with, but that was one so in the western side, right? In Japan, right? In the eastern side of things, that was primarily felt. Not to mention COVID was still around, so it's like I can't really say COVID was the issue with Vanguard in that time too, because everybody was struggling with that. That's not exactly the same. So I would say yes, this would be worse, more so because of how I'm talking about more so for the West. Right, that's the biggest thing about this, right? For the West, for America, Europe, South America, Brazil, and all of them, just straight up because of how much has gone wrong here. Again, we just spent an hour and a half talking about Dear Days. We're talking about he's got this image right here, the NFTs, that was an issue. That's a big issue that should not have occurred, right? We're in a tier, basically a tier 1, tier 0 format in V, because, and this is also kind of like in tandem with Japan and everything, because they don't have actual like people to do events for V. Like straight up, like the people who were doing V and premium events and like scheduling those got moved on to Shadowverse Evolve to do those events. So, allegedly, that's what I've heard of. Like they're doing Shadowverse Evolve stuff instead of doing V and premium. So it's a question of, well, are they gonna have any events again? So it's like, they didn't have any events, so how will we know that Gear Chronicle was the best deck far and away? Right? It popped up out of nowhere. And anyone who did, or rather was going to say it was the best deck, was hiding it because of, you want to actually, it's Worlds time, baby. This is the make or break thing. You want the trip to Japan, or now on to LA at this point, right? So why would you not hide that? What was it? The first NFT was Passpals, was early FT time. Most didn't understand it. The ND of, like, yeah, like the first. I'll say this: the first one was definitely like, I don't like it, but I can understand it because it's like, it's still early, right? That was just something that's like we didn't really know, like the NFT, and it was just like so under the rug, and like it never affected the actual game itself. It was something else completely, right? But the moment you actually like you invaded product with that was the moment we couldn't do it, right? Like already NFTs were a thing, but the moment you invaded in product was the moment it just broke the camel's back. You're like, no, that was what broke the camel's back. Truly, it's like, so yeah, this is my shot. We died to either Digimon or Battle Spirits. Great choice on certain people jumping or going forth as the dial stops and just make this game great. Fight for survival. Survival and cannot compensate. Survival is that fight. We were dangerous to 20, but there was no threat to capitalize. Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to say straight up. Like, that's what Vices. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. This is going to be a fight. We have hit the second TCG golden age, I guess you could say, right? And this is going to be different this time because this is going to be a different landscape, because we already have 3 games we know are coming. If Shadowverse Evolve, thanks to now we're going to reset the tournament scene, now comes to the West because it's doing well, and it's, they would probably be like immediately into production for a Western version. That's probably gonna be coming soon. I've heard rumblings that Aniplex might try and bring Build-A-Vi to the West too. Other games could also come to the West as well. The fact that Recross came to the West is already like a proof that, yeah, no, some games are going to try and come and make to the West, even if they're not even if they might be like more niche than Vanguard itself, right? They're gonna still try and bring it in, right? That's the crazy part, right? The moment Recross came, I mean, I think that's the reason why they brought, right? Because they were like, oh, let's try it, right? I think that's, yes, Gate Ruler is somehow still alive despite all this. So to me, the biggest moment that will change all of this will be, I honestly forgot Gate Ruler in that discussion too. But like, yeah, the biggest thing about all of it is just straight up, this is a different war. And then you look at the big 3, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has gotten a lot of people since Master Duel, but it currently being a tier 0 format that will last until the next ban list, which will probably be either in December or next year, isn't going to help it. And Magic has taken a massive blow this year, way more than anyone thought, right? I was going to talk about the Magic Hasbro like stocks thing, because like it's like, man, Magic is being overprinted, and it's like it's going crazy. No one's buying anything. You know, you're losing stock. Like Bank of America's after they're behind. So Magic is probably like for the first time in years, probably in its most vulnerable state. And now all these other games that actually could have a chance, like again, Flesh and Blood, Digimon, Battle Spirit Saga, that all could have a chance to capture some of that world, right? Like you don't have a pro scene anymore. You destroyed it. Your online arena thing is kind of trash, right? Like if there's a way to capture Magic players more so now than ever, it's next time. But yeah, it'll be stagger but not topple. But again, even if you stagger the big giant, that means they've been damaged. Meaning, right, like Magic's is the biggest TCG in the world. If you take probably like a third, or not a third, but like a 10th or like a 16th of their player base, you probably boost another game up to top 4, top 5, maybe, give or take. I don't know, right? So it's like, yeah, it's like how, right? Like Tulare Community College is pushing Flesh and Blood. Like all these other people are pushing other games, and it's that are also part of the main game, right? Yeah, it's still big enough. I'm not saying it isn't big enough to toss down. I'm saying it is fine. It is vulnerable for the first time in a way no one expected. It's fine. It's finally vulnerable, not killable, but it's vulnerable, right? Yeah, you can still be a vulnerable person, but if you're still literally beating everybody's ass, like I don't know, you're still literally beating people's ass, you're not really that crazy. That's kind of my thing, right? And you know, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. You know, again, so yeah, we'll be live possibly around 4 p.m. Central tomorrow. Next time, it might be earlier, might be later, depends on how everything else goes, IRL and whatnot. But that's kind of the base thing, right? Just yeah. But that's pretty much it. Let me see. Is there anyone on the? No, there's no one. I'm gonna like look real quick for any other stuff here. Let's see. Nope, that's not helping me. Categories. I'm kind of looking for like somewhere we could probably like, go and raid, but I don't think any Vanguard like content creators around. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about just kind of like Vanguard tomorrow and go from there. Thank y'all so much for coming. You know, hey, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I should have Showers of Walls video done by Friday. And then Showers of Walls video by Friday, and then I should get back to the DOA video on the second channel. Hopefully before something crazy happens and like KOF announces more DLC. that'd be a buff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for y'all. Thank y'all. I will see y'all next time. Bye bye.